Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. I'm SocietySucks and today I'm checking out Why Does Fentanyl Feel So Good by Kurzgesagt. Now I wasn't exactly sure what fentanyl was, only that it's a drug. So I checked and apparently it is 30 to 50 times more potent than heroin and 50 to 100 times more potent than morphine. So it's some very strong stuff. So I'm assuming that's why it feels so good, but let's see the actual reasons.
Fentanyl must be amazing. Loads of people give up on everything that makes life good for it. Their loved ones, any other possessions or pursuits, homes, their dignity, and even their lives. But
okay, so this isn't about the medical uses, this is just
inferior in
the
every
drug.
single way but one. It's the perfect drug for dealers. And while we hear a lot about how deadly fentanyl is, many people it kills are not even fentanyl addicts. It's truly the dumbest drug to ruin your life.
So it's just that dangerous. You don't even have to be addicted. Damn. Why would you even... I mean, whatever. People are gonna do drugs. Yeah. If they die, they die. I mean, you know the risks you're taking when you do drugs. At least you should be aware of the risks.
Let's learn what fentanyl does to you, what it feels like, and why it's so much lamer than heroin. Pain
but it's supposed to be stronger.
Maybe the two most important forces that guide our survival are pain and pleasure. Pain may be the most visceral physical experience. A claw ripping your flesh, a bone cracking, rejection eating your soul. Pain can be scary.
Okay, rejection is not physical pain, it's emotional pain. That's a completely different type of pain. I think a bone breaking is also supposed to be one of the worst pains you can experience.
Scary and unbearable. It's the strongest signal our bodies have to make us avoid harm. Pleasure is what makes life good because it feels, well, amazing. Eating things that are sweet or high fat.
What about masochists? They get pleasure from pain.
Having sex or opening another booster pack with your friends. Anything that makes you feel pleasure makes you want to do it again. These two opposing forces guide you through life. Pain shouts, "Stop, this is bad." Pleasure cheers, "More, do that again." But while they are opposites, they're also linked. Sometimes our body needs to end pain and create pleasure at the same time. After giving birth, pain gets toned down and the mother is showered in happy hormones so she can bond with the newborn child. During an intense hunt, the hunter forgets the physical exhaustion and minor injuries. Both are technically not great experiences, but need to be repeated for our survival. And nature invented a powerful mechanism to achieve this: the mighty opioid receptor. It's like a keyhole on the neurons that control pain and pleasure. If activated, it reduces pain and how much you care about pain, and it creates pleasure and good feelings. The details are complex and not relevant for this story. What you need to
so we're just going to
is
ignore
that
it
any
then.
molecule that can fit into an opioid receptor like a key is called an opioid. Opioids are extremely powerful, so when your body uses natural opioids like endorphins when you laugh, it releases only a tiny amount exactly where they're needed. So the effects are mild and localized. Your sprained ankle feels better, a painful memory subsides, you get a boost of happiness meeting an old friend. And now we're getting to drugs. Humans found opioids in nature,
to the actual point of the video.
And were quite taken by them. They got refined into a whole family of drugs used in hospitals and to relieve patients that are in immense pain. Codeine, OxyContin, Vicodin, and of course, heroin, and the worst of all, fentanyl. Before we can explain why fentanyl is the most garbage drug, we need to do something fun. Let's inject some heroin together. Ready?
No, thank you.
The supernova of pleasure.
Don't do drugs.
Heroin rushes through your entire body and flips every opioid receptor it finds. A rapid cascade of things happens everywhere all at once. A symphony of intense sensations. Every cell regulating pleasure is now high. Without their control, floodgates of happy hormones open and fill you up top to bottom with pure bliss.
But is it worth it? No, it isn't.
A nectar of joy. This song you like, a celestial symphony. A cuddle, pure love from the center of the universe. Wherever you felt pain before, from wounds or aching joints or menstrual cramps or loneliness or self-loathing, it's gone now. You are simply unable to feel pain or care about it anymore.
And that's terrible. Not being able to feel pain, it's not a good thing. because you're just running away from your problems instead of actually dealing with them like a responsible person. If you're taking drugs just to take drugs, you know, just for the hell of it, then that's bad, but it's not as bad as taking drugs to avoid your problems.
More. Like dimming the lights in a cozy room, your brain's alert system is put to sleep and you feel at ease, warm and serene. Any stress melts away and dissolves into a dreamlike haze. You're no longer worried or tense about anything. This peace even spreads to your essential organs, slowing your breath, soothing and slowing your intestines. Your chest rises and falls like the gentle waves of a quiet shore. You're sailing a sea of calm and happiness that feels perfect and eternal. The full load of a strong opioid like heroin for the very first time is one of the most amazing feelings humans can experience. For a few hours, you're in heaven. And this is exactly
And then
the
you're
problem.
back down to earth.
Your brain is not equipped to handle anything like it. You feel too good. But nothing lasts forever, and now you're in trouble. You just experienced the best feeling you ever felt.
And this is where
Your
addiction
brain's reward
starts.
center is
You
completely
want
fried
that good
and can't
feeling
comprehend
again.
what happened. If what you did felt this good, it has to be amazing for your survival, and you should do it again. Except you can never ever feel this good again. This will be your peak life moment forever.
Yeah, every
You
time
may
you do it,
forever
it's just
chase
gonna
this feeling
be
you had this
less
very first
good,
time.
less
And now you're back in the
pleasurable.
regular world, with your insecurities, where your knee hurts, regular tasting coffee, and having to work hard for happy hormones. Comparison is the thief of joy, and now you have your life to compare to a supernova of bliss. The indescribable feeling comes with a damage to your sense of life and self that may be irreparable. And this is not even the worst. Opioids are incredibly addictive, and the addiction among the worst you can have. The supernova of pain. Once you've taken opioids a few times, your brain has had enough. The cells controlling pain and pleasure are constantly high and drowsy, so it boosts them and makes them hyperactive. This happens very fast,
well, that's really
sometimes
terrible.
after a few days of use. You've developed
Just
an
a few
opioid
days?
tolerance, toning down all the nice effects you're doing the drugs to achieve. To feel like before, you'll need way higher doses. Now, you're at a crossroads. Quit and have your system go back to normal fairly quickly, or keep going and take more.
And yeah, this
You
is
take the
addiction.
wrong turn. Over the next few weeks, your brain
This is why you should really just never start. Because once you start, it's gonna be almost impossible to quit. For most people. I mean, obviously, some people will be able to quit very easily, while others will never be able to quit. This is also true for other things like alcohol, cigarettes, not just drugs. I mean, technically, anything can become an addiction. Food can become an addiction. Too much of anything is not good.
brain keeps pushing back and you keep taking more. The effects are not quite what they were, but still mildly nice. Until one day, you can't get opioids and realize your body is now your enemy.
You're now
Your systems
dependent
are
on
so
them.
hyperactive that they make you feel the opposite of what the drug was doing. Welcome to withdrawal. It all starts with a creeping unease. Instead of being euphoric and happy, nothing feels good anymore.
Yeah, withdrawal
Your
symptoms are
coffee
the
is tasteless,
worst.
Your favorite song lame. Your loved ones distant.
Not that
The
I would know,
storm
'cause I've
of
never
negative
had
emotions
them.
shatters your sea of calm. Serenity is replaced by anxiety and angst, like something terrible is imminent. Your worries, insecurities, and all the fears you suppressed aren't just back, but amplified into an existential
They're way stronger
crisis.
than before.
You're so restless you can't sit still. Your heart is beating too fast. You shiver, sweat, hyperventilate. Your pain circuits are now oversensitive, so your bones and muscles ache and hurt for no reason. Old wounds, physical and mental, torture you. You have belly cramps and diarrhea and have to vomit. You're too agitated to rest. A war inside your
How long
body
do these
that
last?
you can't
Like
escape.
2 weeks, maybe?
And of course, there's the craving, screaming for you to make it stop. Your mind and body beg for a hit.
Obviously,
You can
withdrawal
be in this
syndromes
state for
will
up to 2
pass after
weeks,
some time.
or make it stop right away. Okay, so why not just take heroin forever and feel amazing always?
Because that's
The fun
not how
thing
it
is that
works.
it doesn't work this way. You get tolerant to the nice effects like euphoria faster than to the bad ones like dangerously slow breathing. So it turns from touching the love center of the universe to mostly drowsy numbness and relief from withdrawal. Now you don't take opiates to get to heaven, but to avoid hell. You're in a prison of your mind and body, unable to connect with all the things that could actually make you feel good. Opioid addiction is brutal and extremely hard to escape. It should be pretty clear that you need to be extremely careful with any opioids, and if you have the chance to do it for fun, just don't.
Yeah,
There's
this is
a
why
very
it's best to
real risk
just
that your
not
life
start.
might just be over.
You could take some drugs and just never do it again, but often people will take it again. They're gonna take it multiple times and then they'll get addicted. So that's why it's best to just not take it in the first place and not take the risk of getting an addiction. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. What do you really get from it? A couple of hours of happiness? That's it? That's worthless.
And that you'll go through hell. Now that we've seen the heaven and hell of heroin, we can get to fentanyl.
Fentanyl
the
is
garbage
supposedly
drug.
30 to 50 times
Fentanyl
stronger.
is really garbage heroin. Everything we just described is true in different intensities for most opioids. They can be great, all of them can be hell. Heroin is just sort of the strongest, except it isn't. Fentanyl is around 50 times more potent than heroin, but that doesn't mean
30 to 50, that's
more
what Google
amazing.
told me.
Quite the opposite. Fentanyl is extremely good at crossing the blood-brain barrier, the firewall that protects your brain from harmful substances. It enters your brain so easily that you get from 0 to extremely high almost instantly. But just as fast as it enters, it leaves again.
Oh.
A heroin high can last
So you just have to
6
keep
hours.
doing more and
One
more,
from
even
fentanyl
faster.
Can fade in minutes. Fentanyl doesn't feel as good as heroin. Instead of a supernova of bliss, you mostly get the black hole of nodding away. But it comes with all the withdrawal symptoms. As a bonus, because fentanyl acts so quickly on your brain, it fries your reward center even more, making it even more addictive.
Wait, so why would people even do fentanyl then? Yeah, I get it. It's supposed to be so much stronger than heroin, but it only lasts for a couple of minutes and the effects are even worse. Why would anybody even do fentanyl? Just do heroin. I mean, obviously you shouldn't do any drugs, but if you have the choice between fentanyl and heroin, just go for the heroin. It's not as damaging as the fentanyl.
Than heroin. And since you only need so little of it, it's super easy to overdose and die by accident. It's the deadliest illegal drug in US history by far. Between 2013 and 2023, it killed about 400,000 Americans. Fentanyl really is garbage heroin. Too dangerous, too intense, too addictive, too little fun. But then why are so many people taking it? Well, actually, nobody wants to. Fentanyl is not for users, it's for dealers. The house always wins. Fentanyl is a drug dealer's dream. One truckload could supply the entire US for 1 year.
That is...
It's
okay,
cheap to
that's
make
fair.
and easy to smuggle. Heroin needs plants and fields and way more space.
Yeah.
So garbage fentanyl just took over the heroin supply. It might have seemed great for heroin addicts at first, and then its trap snapped
And
closed.
yep, then it's
While some
gone
people
to
may
shit.
seek out fentanyl specifically, several studies have found that most opioid users try to avoid it. Even worse, a lot of people who die
Well, that's
from fentanyl
good at
don't
least.
take it willingly. Dealers want people to come back for their product, and by adding a tiny trace of fentanyl to any drug, they can make it more addictive.
Yeah.
Even if people don't realize they took an opioid, they'll feel its effects. So dealers started to mix all kinds of drugs with fentanyl, turning the entire US drug market into a minefield where any trip can be your last. Because way too often, they put a bit too much in their mixes. In 2022,
That does make sense. You need to get people addicted so they keep coming back for your product. That makes perfect sense. So I honestly can't blame the drug dealers. They're idiots, but can't blame them.
the combination with pills, often counterfeit oxycodone and benzodiazepines, accounted for about 20% of all fentanyl deaths. In 2023, the US authorities seized 115 million pills with fentanyl.
Wow.
70% contained a lethal dose. About
Wow.
half of fentanyl overdoses
So you have a 7 in 10 chance to overdose from one of those pills, just because the drug dealers put in a little bit too much. Are you willing to take that risk?
came where you expected the least, from stimulants like cocaine and meth. A lot of people may have taken these mixes on purpose, but many others just wanted to party and weren't ready for an opioid surprise. This is especially dangerous because if you've never tried opioids, you can overdose very easily. Fentanyl really has no upsides outside medical use. For dealers and cartels, it means easy profit. For users, it means a worse opioid addiction and a worse life. For people who would never ever try it, it can be a death sentence they didn't see coming. No matter how alluring they are, using opioids even in safe settings is playing with fire on the best of days. Fentanyl is a garbage drug that turns this fire into a raging furnace, increasing the risk of death massively.
You know, here's an idea. Just never take any pills. Never buy any drugs because, as we can clearly see, there might be fentanyl in it and it might be enough to kill you. There's a 70% chance, at least based on the pills that they seized. So, just don't do drugs and this won't happen to you.
There's really only one conclusion to draw here. If you have the choice, don't step into the supernova of pleasure, because the danger of it turning into a supernova of pain is just too high.
Yeah, I'm really just repeating myself and I sound like a broken record, but just don't do drugs. It's not worth it, and the risks outweigh the reward. Is risking death truly worth it for a couple minutes to a couple hours of feeling really good, only to then feel withdrawals which are gonna be horrible for you? No, it's not worth it. So just don't do it. If you have the option to turn down drugs, turn them down. Doing drugs is not cool. Don't give in to peer pressure. It could ruin your life. And if you are gonna take drugs, then you better be aware of the risks you're taking. I don't think there is really much else to say here. So just once again, don't do drugs, and that's it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. If you want to see more reactions, check out this video right here. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.